Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Well, hello everybody. Let's get humping. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkee live on your November 16th. That's right. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing good. Smash that like, thumbs up, do all that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, as of course this show's right here. Hit that notification bell. If you want to join, hey, guess what? After the show today, we do a post-show stream with members only. So if you want to join the members only family right there, hit the join button. Got all the sock meds around me. Patreon, trying to post some stuff on there, but hey, let's get nuts, guys. Let's get nuts. How's it going out there? How we doing? All right, let's see. Hey, we got Nate right here. Hey, Dave, any Batman is fine. Batman is Batman, and Batman is awesome. I agree with you right there, for sure. Hello, Alex. How you doing? We got Mr. Fear Jason right here. Ronak, what's going on, sir? All right. So I thought you were just talking to me, but you're talking to everybody. Yeah, okay. Hey, Dave. Yeah, it's going pretty good, Darkness. Not too shabby, not too shabby. I wonder if the DCU... El Muerto... No, I don't think so. Why would they do that? Jade, what is happening? We got Mr. James right here. James Noel. Nice. We got Tet. Good to see ya. Hello, darling, with you. There's no problem now that Zaslav brought back. Again, he never left. There's no back. He's in the next, well, not the next movie, but he's in, the other movie. Come on, guys. Anyway, Stephanie T, what's happening? We got Mr. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp fan. How you doing, sir? All right, who else we got here? Up. more. All right, we got Miss Rosemary right here. We got JD McCrae right here. Good to see you guys. Bat City stuff. Hey, Bat City, you gotta like that. Hello from Mr. Prague. All right, good to see you from India. All right. Hello, Rosemary again. We got KC in the house. How's it going, buddy? Joshua Hamilton. The music, it sounds like a late, yeah. And I'm not sure if I'm really me. Ah, there you go. See, giving some of those Blade Runner vibes. Right. That's good. Steve, oh, what's good? Good. It's all good. What's going on? Nikki, Captain Gator Girl is here. What's going on, Jose? We'll have to watch this later. How dare you? Don't hump too hard. I'll try not to. I'll do my best. Alien sex love sounds. I love your username. I need me some Zack Snyder imagery in DC, damn it. Well, I mean, there's like 9.5 hours that we have at least that you could, watch in the meantime. Just saying. What's going on, Ziggs? Good to see you. All right. Everybody in? Everybody good? We're doing all right. All right. Well, sure. Again, smash that like, thumbs up, do all that, share, do everything out there, whatever you can do. I almost thought there wasn't even going to be a stream tonight, but I was like, is there really anything to talk about? And of course, you can always find the little topics, but what was the main topic going to be? And then I was like, you know what? I want to talk more about this Batman situation. Just from seeing things on my timeline, seeing things, people talking about, what's going to be happening when it comes to all this. Obviously, we have David Zaslav talking about James Gunn and Peter Safran kind of, riding up the DCU. It's still very hard for me to be like, DCU, really? Can we just keep it DCEU? My God. Why not? But, I'm just kind of like, I'm sitting there kind of thinking like, all right. One thing I was thinking about today when it came to the DCU Batman Problem, I had something on the brain, so that's why I wanted to have that as a main topic. I mean, I was almost going to be talking about. There's a lot of there's some Flash stuff that was talked about, of course, on the timeline too that I was seeing from people, and I almost went with that, but I went no. I mean, there's one in particular thing that we'll talk about when it comes to the Flash. When we get to the tweets right here, but yeah, and then I was like, should I do both? It was just like a thing that I was like going back and forth with. So we'll talk more about Batman because hey, guess what? I love Batman, so we'll talk more about that. So let's get started with it. Let's get to the tweets and see what was happening in the Twitter world right now. All right. All right, so we'll start off with, hey, what are you talking about? We got your Batman right here. See? If nobody wants to do it, when it comes to the actual shared universe, I'll do it. I'll give it a shot. Why not? I'll give it a shot. I'll definitely do that. Sorry, I'm going to close that. All right, I'll give that a shot. There you go. Look, I fit. I mean, my shoulders are... my shoulders are pretty wide, I guess you could say, right? So, gotta like that. And then here it is, guys. Womp, womp. Remember we talked about this yesterday because a lot of people were going like, what is Jessica Chastain teasing when it came to that video that she posted on social media? And a lot of people, of course, naturally, we always go to, is she playing a superhero? Is she Poison Ivy? What's happening with that? It's always that stuff. We always go to the cape shit stuff. But it had nothing to do with that. And I even said that. I'm like, it's probably going to have nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's going to be something that's near and dear to her heart. And apparently she's going to star in a Broadway play called A Doll's House. So I am 100% sure that Grace Randolph will in fact be there front row watching because she loves Jessica Chastain. Am I right? See, there you go. Gotta love it. Of course, we'll talk about that. Here's a pretty cool little poster from Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, designed by James Jean right here. That's pretty cool. Looking forward to it. I'm actually going to try to watch that when it shows up. I got to catch up on some of that stuff. I tell you, got to catch up. And then Deadline right here is reporting, obviously Joseph Quinn, of course, who played Eddie Munson in the last season of Stranger Things. He apparently he is in negotiations to star in opposite of Lupita Nyong'o in A Quiet Place Day One. That's right, the prequel to A Quiet Place, which we got a little sense of it when it came to A Quiet Place 2. We got a sense of Day One, but we're gonna get a different look at it. I mean, essentially, it almost seems like when it comes to A Quiet Place, they're almost taking the Walking Dead approach of like, hey, let's show different groups of people. So we're going to be showing that, and apparently Joseph Quinn. I was wondering when he was going to start popping up in some of these bigger movies. So there you go. And then this is one of the things that talking about The Flash that I thought was interesting, and I thought even making, tying this up to, there's some Ezra Miller talk, but at the same time, I was like, it's just a lot of hearsay stuff. But when it comes to The Flash Film News on Instagram, they posted this right here. Well, they posted this on all social media. It said, while speaking at IBC 2022, The Flash film editor, Paul Mackless, stated the film is pioneering new technology to get multiple versions of the same actor on screen. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Had a burp right there. Pardon me. But yeah, apparently, like when it comes to The Flash, again, this movie is going to be interesting to see what it makes at the box office and how people actually, critique it and how the audience feels about it and everything like that. Because this movie is going to pioneer, something that's going to, further the technology in cinema when it comes to multiple versions of the same actor on the screen. I mean, obviously, man, you go back to the first iterations of trying to have the same actor in one shot, one scene. Obviously, they had to use like some techniques. I remember when it came to Back to the Future Part 2, that was pretty amazing for 87 or whatever the hell it was, 88, 89, whatever it was. I mean, they did some pretty cool tricks. When you watch it right now, you could see the tricks that they do because, anybody that has an editor or something like that who's not even very keen on that stuff, you can actually pull it off pretty easily yourself. I mean, I've done it many times before, but, but then all of a sudden, like, the technology got further and further. I remember when it came to Michael Bay's The Island, when it came to Ewan McGregor with his clone and the actual dude, I remember going, wow, they've really further the technology when it comes to having the same actor on the screen and interacting and actually looking like they're the two of the actors. Then of course you had The Social Network when it came to Armie Hammer and the Winklevoss, whatever the fuck they were called, the Winkle something twins. I remember watching that, and this is before anybody knew who Armie Hammer was. I literally thought that they just had twin actors. It looked flawless. So, when it comes to, I guess, a new technology, I mean, I'm guessing it's more of like an interaction stuff. And I always go back to even like, and then a movie that is near and dear to my heart that really did a good job when it had multiple of the same actor on the screen was Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. If you haven't watched Multiplicity, do yourself a favor. It's just one of those crazy, 90s movies, and it's very well done. Michael Keaton's a beast, and there's a lot of some themes in there that are actually pretty great if you actually start like digging in that. But there's times where there's 4 of him on the screen. I mean, obviously you could tell it's not sharp. There's some things in it, but there's interaction where they're actually touching and stuff like that at some points. So, and then I remember watching like a behind the scenes on that. But apparently when it comes to The Flash, they're going to perfect it a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's utilizing very new technology in terms of getting multiple versions of the same actor on the screen rather than using locked off cameras or motion controls used in Last Night in Soho. So stuff like that. So just pretty interesting. And apparently, the technology is, it's very true. They're very much using it, and I'm curious to see what they're doing. And then it kind of makes me wonder, how many Barrys are there going to be? How many Bruce Waynes are there going to be? How many of whoever are there going to be? This movie's going to be nuts, I feel. So I just think that's pretty awesome, though. I'm looking, see, just stuff, little things like that get me more hyped for the movie. Just saying. Then we got right here, remember, there's going to be another Alien movie coming out, and Kaylee Spani, if I'm saying her name right, is in early talks to star in the new Alien movie. Kind of makes you wonder, after the success of Prey and people praising Prey, are they going to do something similar with the Alien franchise? Are they going to go like, primitive? I think they should. If they're not going to conclude what was happening in Alien Covenant, at least do something where it's like, okay, and then maybe they can interlock the franchises together better than the Alien versus Predator bullshit that we got. Just saying. I thought this was funny right here. Imagine looking at your Ring doorbell and seeing this. Imagine seeing this, guys. Yeah, somebody with a cardboard cutout of Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick, showing up like that. I mean, this had to happen on Halloween, right? I'm guessing this was like somebody's costume or something. But imagine if you looked at your Ring doorbell and you saw that. Creepy! Yeah. Nicotina right here talking about the announcement tomorrow for Project Justice League UE. Right here, look at this image. Huh? Look at that. Look at that. I saw this costume in physical form. You know, you guys saw the pictures when I took the WB tour like a month ago. I mean, I saw this costume and, you know, and it was funny because out of all the costumes, I examined this one the most. When it came to looking at the Robin costume, I looked at it the most, probably because, you know, we only saw it like this in this form, and you only see a glimpse of it in BVS. You know, all the other costumes you see on screen and you see the characters in it. So I really was like looking at that. You know what I must say? Like, I mean, the thing is like, I mean, obviously, you know, he was lit on fire. So it's got like that aspect to it. And then of course, but I mean, everything is like, the costume is so messed up. It's weathered. It's definitely weathered when you actually look at it. It's weathered. Then I'm just kind of going like, was he really running around in shorts, huh? In shorts? All right, you know, but it's a really cool costume, especially when you see it in person. Apparently, Keanu Reeves will star in Outcome that is going to be directed by Jonah Hill. I remember Jonah Hill said he's kind of not going to be doing press for things. I don't know. But he's becoming a filmmaker now, so good on him. And apparently his next movie called Outcome is going to be starring Mr. Keanu Reeves. And then hopefully the next movie that Keanu Reeves stars in will be, Constantine 2. Here's a pretty cool Batman and Superman by George Kaltsadas. I don't know. Really cool right there. That's something we'll talk about, of course. Quentin Tarantino's been making some rounds right here. You know, I must say, sometimes, you know, when I'm going to bed at night, I'll look at my YouTube feed and I'll start going through my shorts. There's been a lot of Quentin Tarantino in my YouTube shorts. It just kind of shows you that, yeah, they know what I want to listen to. And, of course, I love listening to Quentin Tarantino talk. But apparently recently on the Video Archives podcast, I think that's his podcast, right? He says that the current movie era is one of the worst in Hollywood history. So he's basically just continuing to throw shade at all the big blockbusters and the CBMs and whatnot right here. I just love how, you know, I mean, like they put BVS and that came out. Like, I mean, I know there were some people that pushed back on like, why is BVS in there? I would be actually kind of curious. I would be 100%, I would want to know, and maybe with his new podcast or whatever he's going to be doing when it comes to talking about film and talking about the current state of film, I would actually want him to full on do a review of Batman vs. Superman. I really would like to see that because I know he's thrown the shade at Marvel big time. And at one point, he actually wanted to do a Luke Cage movie back in the 90s because he does like comic books. He does like some of this stuff. And I would be curious to see what does he have to say about like Zack Snyder's take on some of these characters. I could have swore that I thought he said something about Watchmen at one point, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But I just like how that is. You know, you're putting BVS there along with this fucking bullshit right here. This Saturday Night Live sketch. This 2-hour Saturday Night Live sketch. Yeah, ridiculous. But hey, you know, it's whatever. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino, it's just kind of you know, we're going to be hearing a lot from Quentin Tarantino. And to be honest, I want to hear, am I going to always agree with it? No! And it's perfectly okay. But I always love it when people quote tweet, when certain filmmakers that have been around for a while, and they just like start criticizing him for being an old, like cynical person and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you're tweeting this you still live with your parents. What are you doing? These people have been making films and they changed the course of cinema in the past. And now you're just like, fuck this guy. Get out of here. God, we're such narcissists now, aren't we? Anyway, speaking of filmmakers, we got right here James Wan and Jason Blum, two of the biggest names in scary movies, are in talks to merge their respective companies, Atomic Monster and Blumhouse. I think that Blumhouse, this is going to happen, of course. The goal is to create one more scary movie. Yes, please. I mean, we all know that Blumhouse is, when you see Blumhouse or even A24, you kind of go like, okay, well, A24 is a little more artsy-fartsy, but when it comes to Blumhouse, man, they are doing some good stuff. They do some good stuff when it comes to it. I mean, the Halloween movies, it started off great, and then it just kind of, but bringing James Wan in, 100%, because we all know that he's not going to be doing an Aquaman 3, so he's just going to be making some more horror movies, which I am all about. And then Tarantino, of course, he says that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his best film he's ever made, which, obviously, again, if there's people that are tweeting going, he's wrong, what? That doesn't even make sense. He made the movie, he wrote and directed the movie. If he thinks that that's his best movie he made, then okay. I mean, if we don't agree, I still think Pulp Fiction is his best movie, but I would say that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is second. I would say it's second when it comes to favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. It's definitely better made than Pulp Fiction. I just like Pulp Fiction more. But it's just, again, there was people that are going, but it was mainly just people going, a lot of people have a really we have a love for Pulp Fiction so much. So, but yeah, it's good stuff. And then we got this Kevin Conroy poster right here. This is pretty cool. I would love to have this from Fran Cavilla right there, Cavilla. So that's pretty cool right there. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. So Pulp Fiction is, yeah, exactly. It's hard to top that. It's hard to top. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is worst movie by, no, it's not. Really? It's his worst movie? Have you seen them all? Have you seen them all? All right. I don't know. That's just, I can't say it's hard when people say it's his worst. I'm like, how? I would say that it's, Inglourious Bastards is your fave. That's good. Okay. You never seen Pulp Fiction, Cortez? Do yourself a favor. It's so good. Okay? It's so good. I mean, you want to talk about just there's just something about, watch them all. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown. Watch those two. And then, of course, the Kill Bills. And then Inglourious Bastards. Even watch Death Proof. Do yourself a favor. If you haven't watched Death Proof, watch Death Proof. That was part of the whole Grindhouse movies that came out with him and Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror and Death Proof. I remember watching them in the movie theaters, and it was just pretty awesome. But yeah, I like Death Proof. Am I freezing up again? God damn it. Are we good? We good? Okay, I thought it saw it going. And then Django Unchained, right? Yeah, there you go. That's good stuff. Reservoir Dogs is the best. Okay, so Reservoir Dogs is your favorite. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I would say Reservoir Dogs might be third. I don't know when it comes to my top Tarantino flicks right there. So what's going on, Legend? Good to see you. Always good to see you. Also, you, Draga. All right, well, let's talk about Batman again. We talked about it yesterday. But, me, I love to talk about Batman. And, I just felt like, oh, man, I was just kind of thinking about things today when it came to Zaslav's words yesterday. Obviously talking about, hey, we're not going to have 4 Batmans, all right? There's not going to be 4 different Batmans, Batmen, whatever you want to say. I mean, obviously, it's like either you're saying like the brand or you're actually using proper grammar, I guess. But, when it comes to Batman and the DCU, this is the problem that we have right now. The problem is the fact that there isn't exactly a DCU. I mean, we just got Henry Cavill back, right? And Henry Cavill is going to be there for the foreseeable future. But then, of course, now we go, okay, so Ben is going to be in The Flash. He's going to be an Aquaman. But is there going to be anything more to that? I mean, obviously, they're trying to create this cohesive DC Bible that James Gunn and Peter Safran are trying to just they got their feather pens out and they're just, they're in their dungeons, just, with their candlelight, just, writing down this cohesive Bible. But then it's like, How hard is it to try to nail Ben down? Because even I've been talking to, the people over there, and apparently it's like still trying to get Ben to be like game, just like how Cavill is game, Not an easy task, and I talked about this yesterday because he's in a different place right now. I mean, he's healthier, everything's good, everything's great. He just got remarried. He just got married again, with J-Lo. Hopefully that lasts this time. And, then it's just kind of like, all right, is he going to be, in fact, coming back? And that is the question right there. That's the problem that they have. Is like, is he going to come back? Do they need a recast? Or do they just incorporate Robert Pattinson's Batman? That's what I kept on seeing today. I saw people on the timeline talking about this. They were talking about how maybe if Ben doesn't come back fully, if he's like not down to go the extra decade or whatever the hell he'd want to go, would they actually incorporate Pattinson's Batman into the DCU? Would he actually do that? And then I was like thinking, I'm like, okay, obviously when you watch Matt Reeves' Batman, it's like, okay, that can't work. That really can't work. It's its own thing, and I want it to be its own thing. I've been saying that forever. I'm like, no, keep that. That needs to be its own thing. Keep that in its universe. It's perfect. Let it build on that universe. There is so much that he could build in that universe. So great. But then at the same time, I'm like, could you imagine, okay, say Ben doesn't come back and they decide to revamp some things, and when it comes to this Bible that they're actually trying to create right here, I'm just kind of wondering, because James Gunn even said that one of the first contacts that he reached out to was Matt Reeves. He called Matt Reeves after he got the job, and I'm sure there was a conversation about some things. I don't see James Gunn wanting to do that, but then I'm just going, the problem is like, they're still like trying, if you gotta nail down Ben. You gotta nail down Ben, That's the thing. And then I was like, all right, but if they were to incorporate that, I was like, I don't know why, but I just went off like in a daydream scenario like thing. I'm like, what if they put the pressure on Matt Reeves and he goes, fuck it, I'm out. I'm going to go make some other things. But Pattinson was like, hey, I'm still here. I'll still play Batman. And then I'm kind of going like, all right, so if they were to inject him into the shared universe, the shared DC universe, they would have to I don't know, I'm not sure if they'd have to lighten him up too much, but maybe a little bit. Obviously, they would have to lighten him up a little bit more because, a lot of, the whole emo Batman thing and the whole emo Bruce Wayne thing, whatever the hell. I was just kind of going like, man, that'd be interesting if they were to do that. And it's not like they would have to like retell his backstory, but they would just lighten him up just a little bit where he's a more established Batman, more of an established Bruce Wayne and everything. I don't know. I would hate it, but then I would be curious to see what it'd be like. I don't know. Because obviously when it comes to, Cavill and Pattinson, they're what? Around the same age, late 30s, So then it was just kind of like, interesting. But, hey, Alex Lopez, thank you for the $5 super chat. Every little bit helps. I think Gunn and Zaslav need to speak to Ben. He's earned it. If not, they have to recast to keep the train going. See, that's the thing. They have to speak to Ben. You don't think they haven't? See, when it comes to the whole Zack Snyder thing, I'll take Zack Snyder's word that he hasn't gotten a phone call. That's fine. Again, thank you, Alex Lopez, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. But I'm pretty sure that they've talked to Ben. And that's the thing. It's like, and from what I gathered from my information is the fact that Ben is kind of like in the mood of like cameo. I'm just good with like, I was good with the cameos right now, but I don't know if there's like what is going past Aquaman. Obviously we know he's going to be an Aquaman. What goes past Aquaman? That's the question. That's what's up in the air right here. And that's I think the problem that they have is like you have to have, if you're trying to create this roadmap, this DC Bible. Hey, we got another. Hey, thank you again for the $2 super chat, Alex. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps, guys. Appreciate it. I'm just kind of going like, okay, so if you have this Batman problem of you have an actor, who's 50, And that, age is kind of, obviously he still looks great. He's still in great shape. And mainly when it comes to the physical aspect of playing Batman, obviously you have stuntman, which is what we could utilize. But then you have, Ben, who's just like trying to like do other things. He just got married and everything, and he went through the struggles that he went through when it came to the previous regime. Well, there's a regimen, right? He did get bulked up, right? No, but like the previous regime and the alcoholism and all that stuff. You kind of just go like, I mean, that is the issue that they have when it comes to him. So it's like, all right. And I even brought this up last night. I was like, all right, so if they just keep Pattinson, obviously they keep Pattinson over here, that's what I want. I really don't want to be a shared thing. Or so that means if Ben doesn't fully come back, do they just get somebody else? I mean, that's probably what's on the table too, is like, if Ben doesn't want to play game, we don't nail him down. Does that mean we just recast this Batman over here, keep that Batman over there, and then that's it? And then, obviously when it comes to Michael Keaton, get that out of your heads. He's not going to be the DCU Batman, okay? Excuse me. Jeez. Man, sorry. This LaCroix right here giving me the burps right now. Jeez. That's what I was just kind of thinking about today. But then I was thinking, when I saw people, saying like, what if Pattinson right there, what if Pattinson were to be brought in, into this world? I mean, they would have to revamp him big time. I mean, obviously, when it comes to Cavill, and apparently, even like when it came to, right? Apologize. Yeah. Obviously, when it comes to Cavill, when he's coming back, I mean, obviously it's not, yes, he's wearing the Man of Steel costume, but then, the HD version is actually roaming around Twitter right now. Obviously, I didn't really, I was going to retweet it, but I didn't. But yeah, apparently you can see the HD version of the Black Adam mid-credit scene with Cavill. I mean, yes, it has, what's his name, Mr. Lorne, the composer of Black Adam, doing a version of the John Williams score. And it's like, yeah, we want to hear Hans Zimmer. So, but we got to face facts that things aren't going to be, and that's the thing, is like, there's people out there that don't want any kind of change at all, but there's going to be changes. And even with Cavill, it was just like, okay, it was good to see all that back, but there was just remnants of like, yeah, there's change, but there's also the Man of Steel costume that he's wearing and that he wanted to wear. But, there's a little bit of change. So, I don't know. It was just things that I was thinking about today. I think just, Ben, if Ben just decides to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm back fully. Okay, again, he never really left, but if he's just like, you know what, I'll play Batman for the next 10 years, and I think that's what he's probably thinking about. It's like, do I want to play Batman for the next 10 years? That's the thing. That's probably the struggle that he would have with it. It's like, of course he loves the character, and of course he's all about what's, just what he's doing in the Flash. He's even said that, and the fact that he came back for Aquaman. But it's like, does he want to go even further than that? Because obviously they want to have the next decade planned out, and you can't have this DC universe without a Batman. So they need to have some commitment from him, I mean, he just committed to J-Lo, and now he's got to commit to a studio. I mean, come on. That's going to be rough. It's going to be a little bit rough. So I don't know. That's just a problem they have right now. That's just a problem. People don't want Snyder's whiteboards to change, even though Snyder wants them to change. I know. It's pretty ridiculous. It's like things are going to change, but the thing is like, just like what on Monday's show, when we were talking about Zack Snyder being asked if he's going to be brought back into the DC universe because, Cavill and the new regime and everything like that. And he said that he hasn't gotten a phone call. It's just even talking about that, and if he were to come back, it wouldn't be the same kind of stuff. I mean, the whiteboards were just an outline of a possibility of a story, and we all know that wouldn't have been a story. Things always change. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League, what came out? If they didn't touch what he wanted to touch back in 2017, we wouldn't have had the same movie. I mean, there would have been similar stuff. Most of it would have been the same, but there would have been things that wouldn't have been the same, you know? Things change. Same with BVS. You know, things changed in BVS. There was this, you know, we had a different writer come in and kind of changed up the script. And you know, initially when it started, it had different kind of tones to it. Less political, more action. Metallo was part of it. There was all kinds of things that were in there. You know, it's just the process of getting this kind of stuff out there. You know, not everything's going to be the same. But yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. And then, of course, you know, people talking about the Flash. I saw some people talking about the Flash on the timeline and talking about Ezra Miller and everything. I mean, nothing that's, you know, it's whatever. You know, there's always talking about are they going to recast him? Are they not? I don't know. That's always up in the air, but at the same time, it almost seems like they're not going to, because I've heard that they were planning on, then not, and then doing all that, you know. It really depends on what happens in that movie. And then, of course, they you know, the people that we're talking about, too, are, of course, going against what certain Scoopsy Daisies are saying, that there's going to be massive reshoots, rewrites, and all this stuff, which is just ridiculous, because that movie is going to be, it would just be so expensive if they did that. I mean, that's the thing. You're not going to rewrite and redo all the stuff. But, you know, for the most part, it's like, all right, but who's Batman at the end of that? I mean, obviously, we have two Batmen in there. So what is going to be happening? Is there going to be a slight tweak? Is there going to be something like that? I don't know. But all I know is they do have a little bit of a Batman problem when it comes to the DCU. The DCU. And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, we're probably not going to know till next year at least, maybe not till 2024 of what's actually going to be happening. And if Ben just goes, yeah, fuck it, I'll play Batman for the next decade or something. I don't know. That's the problem that they have. And it's funny too, because, you know, obviously people gave grief to the whole fact that Zack Snyder cast an older Batman. A lot of people hated that because it's like, you can't build a universe. Well, he was trying to build a different kind of universe, because yeah, he could have just had a younger Batman, a more, you know, a 3-4 year Batman. He could have had something like that, but he wanted to go more Dark Knight Returns, you know? That's what he was trying to tell his story. And it was going to spin off at least one movie, you know, and then, of course, the Justice League. But then his Batman, the reason why Ben Affleck agreed to do it, because he knew what Zack was trying to do. He was trying to do like a Dark Knight Returns style Batman. And then, of course, he was going to get his sacrifice, his send-off in like Justice League 2 or possibly 3. I don't know. It was always changing, apparently. You know, that Batman was going to sacrifice himself. You know, that was always going to be the thing. So it's like he had this arc. Just similar to like how Christopher Nolan had an arc for his Batman. 3 movies, that was it. You know, Ben Affleck had, you know, a certain amount of movies, maybe like 5, 6, whatever the hell, and then that was going to be it. You know, it's just like one of those things where it's like you do it, then you're done, you know. But now it's getting to the point where it's like, now we got to have you for as long as we want you, kind of thing. So it's a little bit different now. So that's a problem that they have. And maybe Ben Affleck doesn't want to do that because he signed a contract to do a certain amount of movies, and some of that, and all the movies that he was participating in got dicked with. And then, of course, things changed. So now it's like, all right, do I want to continue and do this thing, or am I just done? So, and then, of course, the question is, do they just recast the DCU Batman, keep Pattinson over here, and whatever the fuck? And then, speaking of Batman, guys, get this. I know it's the holidays right now, but yeah, if you have a Batman fan in your family or friend, get the Batmobile manual. There you go. I was going to plug this a little bit more because I've been, you know, I'll just look at this every now and again. It's pretty cool. I got the link down below, the Amazon link. It's only $30, I think, the last time I checked, so check it out. But yeah, I really love this book right here. It even has Ben's Batmobile. Look at that. Look, it even has the tank. Look at that. Bam, look at that. Even has it. They call it the Armageddon Batmobile in that thing. Look at that thing. Pretty freaking awesome right there. They even got that. They even got the tank. They break it all down. So it's just good stuff. So yeah, if you want to do that. Look at that. They even showed the inside of it. It's pretty damn cool. So go ahead and do that. Hey, thank you, Sarah, right there for the 50 pounds. I think that is. I don't know what that is, but thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. All right, let's move on to the next topic, eh? Fantastic Four. All right, so I'm just going to read this off. It's nothing, it's simple, it's something, but the reason why I wanted to make it a topic because I found it intriguing. I really did. I found this pretty intriguing. I was like, interesting. But according to Daniel RPK, and of course, yes, he's in the Scooper game, but if I were to trust, it's hard to trust any of them, but, I would trust him a little bit more than, especially with Marvel news. But it says right here, Marvel Studios' upcoming Fantastic Four will be set in the past, in the 60s, essentially. They will be a team out of time. Neither Kang nor a Doom is the villain. Kang will be in the movie, but he's there to connect the group to the two Avengers movie. It's not strictly an origin story, but we'll see. So that's what was discussed apparently from him. And to be honest, I think that actually sounds kind of cool. I really hope if I had like a wish when it came to this whole thing is the fact that I was like, I really would actually like it for most of the movie to be in the 60s. Can we do that? I mean, you already did the 90s with Captain Marvel terribly, but you still did it, and that was fine. But they should actually have most of the movie take place in the 60s if this is the case. I think they should. Why not? That would be something different. I mean, one of the things about, that Marvel is kind of learning right now is like they had their formula that was working so well from the first Avengers to Endgame. That formula was working very well. But then they had to deviate a little bit and then go off script, go off the formula. All of a sudden it's like, hey, here's New Coke. And, when it comes to Phase 4, it's pretty divisive. It is. I mean, I really like Multiverse of Madness. I'm just a Raimi fan. That's why, but it doesn't feel as, strong as the Infinity Saga for sure. So why not just go off the cuff a little bit again, break that little formula somewhat, and because every time they've shown like the past, it's always been for like a little small chunk. Maybe Captain America showed obviously more. I mean, that was the entire movie, obviously. But I'm saying do the same thing with Fantastic Four. Have it take place in there. So then if something happens where time travel happens and multiverse stuff happens where they get brought into whatever, I say there's nothing wrong with that. I actually like that idea, and I really hope they actually do it. We don't need do we need a modern day Fantastic Four? We've already had that 3 times, two movies before, and then of course the Josh Trank version, which I still think he was trying to do something special there, but it just didn't work. But I don't know. I just like the concept of maybe doing that. Yes, you missed me burp. Also, no, yeah. Jose, what Rosemary said, just a little burp came out. Anyways, layoffs. I keep on telling you guys, you just got to keep on seeing more of this. But sadly, when it comes to layoffs, and sadly when it comes to anything, when it comes to online and Twitter, and this is one of the things that annoys the shit out of me because, whether it's politics, whether it's anything, it's always just like, I always will see people post certain things. There's always certain things, depending on what team you subscribe to, you're always going to, post certain things and then ignore other things because it goes against narratives, goes against your side or whatever the hell. It's sad because I'll stand back and be like, well, wait a minute. What about over here? And then obviously when it came to David Zaslav, coming in, canceling Batgirl, and laying off. Obviously, there was layoffs when it came to WBD and everything. It was just like, that was always put out there like crazy. But then it was like, well, what about all the Netflix layoffs? What about the Disney layoffs? What about this, there's just layoffs happening all over the place. Marvel, everything. Layoffs were happening, and they continue to happen. But it's not big news because it's not Elon Musk, it's not David Zaslav. Those two, when it comes to the entertainment world, it's like Elon Musk is like he's Satan, apparently, and Zaslav is Hitler. So, but when it comes to Paramount, and didn't they just announce like somebody going over to Paramount Jeez, he's already causing people to get laid off. How dare he? Walter Hamada, I'm talking about. Obviously, we talked about that yesterday. Walter Hamada will be starting at Paramount next year, doing horror movies. But yeah, so this was this article right here. It said Paramount Global begins new round of layoffs focused in ad sales groups. So again, with that, layoffs are underway at Paramount Global, with several dozen employees expected to leave the company today. Insiders have confirmed the deadline. The cuts, which are expected to affect fewer than 100 workers, not too bad, but you still feel bad for them. Both New York and LA are largely concentrated in the ad sales group. A number of business areas had been publicly targeted for streamlining in recent weeks among the international operations, market, and ad sales. So they're going to be having that. And then there's this. This is like a rumor that's happening right now. I mean, it's coming from Casey Walsh, so take it how you ever want to take it. But it is kind of interesting that he's basically saying that in others, Marvel has been laying off its animation department, with shows being at risk. Also, unconfirmed rumor is that freshman year might be canceled. So remember when this was talked about at Comic-Con and everything, and it was going to be like a multiverse type movie. It was going to be interesting. Yeah, apparently we might not be able to get Spider-Man freshman year, which seems really interesting. But then at the same time, it's like, all right, if you're going to start cutting some things, you're going to cut out the animation part first, right? You're going to cut out the comics and the animation. You're going to start laying off all those people first because you want to focus on live action more than anything. And obviously when it comes to Disney Plus and, them just the Marvel factory just pumping out shows, pumping out all this stuff and putting way too much money in it, you're going to create a cash flow problem. So when it comes to animation stuff, that's what's going to suffer. I hope this is not going to be the case. But apparently this is what's been talked about, is the fact that this show might not even come to fruition. But then at the same time, you go, well, we already got the Spideyverse movies. So do we really need this just to add a little bit more? I mean, it was a pretty interesting concept. I mean, they were really kind of taken from the Spideyverse stuff, but apparently, yeah, this might not even come out now, even though we saw that whole thing where it's like a different part of the multiverse where Norman Osborn shows up to the apartment talking to Aunt May, as opposed to Tony Stark. It was like pretty much they were going to show something like that. So, but yeah, so layoffs, man. It's not going to stop. It's really not going to stop. It's crazy. It's crazy how much it's just, these studios are really just kind of going like, whoa, we have every streaming service has a cash flow problem right now. All things just have a cash flow problem. That's what's happening. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because I really want to see it. Hopefully it don't touch the X-Men 97 animated series that's coming out. Hopefully that'll be a little freaky. That'll be a little scary, right? And then we have Brendan Fraser. All right, so Brendan Fraser, obviously he's getting so much praise when it comes to The Whale that obviously he's going to be nominated for all kinds of awards. And, rightly so with the stuff that we've been hearing. But if he gets nominated for a Golden Globe, he will not be attending. Yes, here's the article right here. Brendan Fraser won't attend Golden Globes if nominated. Brendan Fraser is enjoying some of the best reviews and some of the biggest awards buzz of his entire career for his work in the upcoming Darren Aronofsky film, The Whale. Odds makers have him as a near lock to receive a nomination for Best Actor at Academy Awards, and many are predicting he could very well tip it about blah, blah, blah. But while Fraser would surely love an Academy Award, he has made it clear he will not appear at one key precursor of the Oscars, which is the Golden Globes. Although beset by scandals over the membership and lack of transparency in recent years, the Globes, which are handed out by the foreign press, will return to, of course, a live telecast. Fraser, however, will not be there. He will not be there even if the Globes nominate him for an award. His objections have less to do with the Globes' recent controversies and more with his own alleged mistreatment by the group and one of the former members. In 2018, if you guys remember this, Fraser claimed that the HFPA's former president, Philip Burke, had groped him at the Globes event back in 2003. After going public with the accusations, Fraser told GQ he was interviewed by an independent investigator and asked to sign a joint press release with the organization, but Burke, who denied Fraser's claims, of course, was not disciplined and for his alleged reaction. Supposedly, the statement would have read, "The evidence supports that Burke's behavior was intended to be taken as a joke and not sexual advance." Fraser refused to sign the statement and now says the organization never apologized for the incident. The HFPA told GQ they've apologized twice. Burke was only expelled from the group in 2021 after sharing an article decrying Black Lives Matter as a racist hate movement in an email to the membership. Whatever the exact details, Fraser is certain that he will not attend this year's Globes, whether they choose to honor him or not, saying, "I have more history with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association than I have respect for the Hollywood Foreign Press Association." So there you go. No Brendan Fraser there. No, remember when he did that? Remember when they cut to him and he like laughed and clapped? That was like one of those things where it became like a meme, poor guy. That was like years ago. But I don't know if that was the Golden Globes, though. I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. That was probably something else. But yeah, so good on him. I mean, if you got groped and he didn't like it, then why not? Stick to your guns. Stick to what you said. You know, you didn't want to be a hypocrite. So if he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. You know, I mean, he'll still get the award. He's just not going to. He's not going to walk up on stage and thank a bunch of drunk celebrities sitting down, drinking a bunch of champagne and stuff like that. You know, that's good on him. Good on him. He'll get, you know, Academy Award. That's a different story. Sure. So there we go. Alrighty. Let's see what's happening when it comes to questions. Questions. What do we got? Nothing on YouTube. Okay, cool. All right, let me refresh this to make sure that we're good. All righty. Let's go to questions right here for Twitter. Eric Blake, you know, Dave, people are complaining about the image of BVS with Quentin article, but lest we forget, the studio screwed Zach with the BVS theatrical cut. And, of course, Justice League. And, frankly, that DCEU executive meddling kind of proves his point, doesn't it? I mean, yeah. The way that things are run by committee and stuff like that. And but, again, I would actually love to see him sit down and actually watch Zack Snyder's Justice League trilogy just to get what he would have to see if he likes it more than what he's seen from the other place. The Flash, this is from Boomish. The Flash will make Keaton the primary Batman, right? No. I don't think neither him or Ben can commit to play this for the next 10 years. The logical thing would be to recast. What would you do? Love your content. Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That is the question. That is the DCU Batman problem. Is what do you do? What do you do? Pop quiz, hot shot. Devon Wooter, hey Dave, are you ready for the holidays? And do you heard that Spider-Man freshman year is being canceled? If it is, it's so funny. Marvel fans it was making fun of David for Batgirl cancellation, but they keep the same energy. Okay, well, it's a little bit different when it comes to that, but. I'm never ready for the holidays. I bought one gift. That's about it. That's the only thing and I plan on buying more, this weekend, just doing an Amazon search for a lot of things. But, it's a little bit different when it comes to all that. Kevin, Batman fan. Hi, Dave. For yesterday, I do like Batman the Animated Series. It's just I couldn't make it fit on my list. Okay. My question for you is, do you think Kevin Conroy did voice work as Batman in the Suicide Squad game before he passed away? I thought I read that it wasn't him. I think I read that it wasn't him that was voicing Batman in there. I don't think it's him. I really don't. So Somebody else can probably answer that. Ronak, do you think they could pull off Crisis on Infinite Earths storylines now that we have multiple Batman, Superman? That would be the best route, in my opinion. I mean, they probably could do something like that, and maybe that's what Hamada was trying to do, but I don't know if it was actually working. But I don't know. We'll see. We got the ladies of the DCEU. See, somebody keeping it with the DCEU. If you're humble, in your humble opinion, which lady of the DCE, yes, I love how she put that right there, wins 2016 premiere? It's difficult. What are we thinking here? Guys? Jeez. We got Gal Gadot, goddess. We got Margot Robbie, also a goddess. What are we thinking? See, everybody's saying Gal, but people are saying Margot too. I don't know. Yeah, see, to me, it's like she's a goddess. She's definitely a goddess. She's tall. She's just like, wow, wowie wee wow. But there's something about Margot, man. She's just like, eesh, ha, ha, you know? I'm gonna have to go with Margot. I'm sorry. Nothing against Gal. Still love her very much. But I'm gonna go with Margot. There it is. RJ, should I trust anyone saying they got an exclusive quote from Walter Hamada regarding Zack Snyder? I remember seeing something about that on the timeline today, and from the person who it was claiming, I would not trust that at all. That person is a little disturbed. So I'm just saying. Alex Lopez, if Zazie Pants doesn't want 4 Batmen, they need to figure out, yes, that's what we're talking about. Jimmy, I don't know how they can change the Flash original ending. They're not. Keaton Main DCU Batman, not really. And the movie tasted very well. Oh, wow, Jimmy, you tasted the movie? Man, what it tastes like. And if it changed, it will destroy Keaton's arc. Yeah, they're not going to change that portion of it, at least. Isaac, hello, Dave. Why our streamings are now 1 hour later. In Peru, it was daily 8 p.m., but recently it's at 9 p.m. Because of the fucking time change. Because we still do daylight savings, sadly. So, Mr. Nobody, hey, Dave. Do you think WBD really has a 10 or even a 5-year plan? Alan Horn, Gunn, and Saffron. Yeah, I could see them being the planners, but Zaslav not so much. Yeah, Zaslav's not the one that's planning. He's the businessman. He's the one running the company. They're the planners. You know, when you run a business, like say you're running an engineering, firm or something like that, which is what I've been working for. You have your engineers, you have your planners, you have your coordinators, you have your managers. That's what it is. After all the recent said he didn't have a Superman. Yes, because he doesn't know the exact numbers. I don't know why people are still dwelling on that. I hate that. Yes, he cheesed up the numbers. He cheesed up the grammar by saying Batmans, not Batmen. Okay? I don't think Zaslav got where he was by, speaking. That's the thing. It's like sometimes you could just have these guys that are very smart when it comes to business. That's why they're billionaires. Maybe not so strong when it comes to speaking. I mean, you could say that about Mr. Musk, too. You see him in interviews, he's a little dull. He's dull. That's why Joe Rogan tried to get him to smoke a fucking joint. It's like, loosen up a little bit, guy. He's a little dull. But business-wise, I would not throw anything past him, just because, look at what they're doing. So, yeah, speaking-wise, maybe not so great. That's why they're like more behind-the-scenes kind of thing. It's why, you want to put somebody else out there to handle certain things. That's just what happens when it comes to these big businesses and whatnot. All right. Anyways, but it's all pretty crazy. But I noticed that Zaslav is actually on the trending thing right now too. That's what's funny. He's still kind of trending. People still talking about him. See, that was another thing that somebody actually said. I think it was the Den of Nerds guy. His tweet right here. If you if you read it earlier, it said, I shouldn't even say this, but I heard Zaslav likes Batfleck and doesn't like Pattinson. I think, it's funny when he heard that because, a lot of people, that got a lot of engagement when it came to all that stuff. And see, Jose still calls him Aslav. Aslav. You still hate him. You still hate what he's doing. Even though, like, Cavill's back and everything like that. Still going to call him names like that. No, but, when it comes to, like, that tweet, it's just, like, I think it's the fact that he likes, they want Batfleck more. I mean, obviously because more of an impact, especially with all the stuff with the Snyder stuff, and the fact that he's part of the shared universe. Pattinson is not part of the shared universe. It's not that he doesn't like him. I think Zaslav, maybe even Alan Horn, are just kind of going like, oh man, we came into the DC universe and we don't exactly have a Batman in this universe, but we have a Batman over here that it's in its own universe. I think that's what he doesn't like. I think the fact that it's just like, we have this over here, but of course he's not going to like mess that up. And that's what I was just kind of going over at the beginning of the stream when, talking about the subject. It's like, do you really want to mess that up? And, if we can't get a Batman over here, if Ben doesn't want to come back, it's like, do you recast or do you bring Pattinson in? And that's the thing. I don't think it's like the fact that he doesn't like Pattinson. That's ridiculous, I think. Doesn't like Pattinson. I think it's just probably doesn't like the situation of having Batman over here, and maybe the fact that it's like, that's going to be doing all that. There's a lot of money that's going to get swallowed up over here when it comes to building this universe. But at the same time, it could be the second one could be bigger than the first. That happened with the Dark Knight, right? Batman Begins, the Dark Knight. So hopefully that maybe that the second Batman movie, along with the Penguin series and whatever series that they're going to be doing, that just parlays this whole Bat universe where the second movie actually does get to maybe $1 billion or something like that. I don't know. I think it's just he just doesn't like the situation of like the multiple Batmen. That's what it is. It's not so much that he like, oh yeah, but we got the sparkly Batman over here. Seriously, we're gonna talk about the sparkly Batman. It's ridiculous, and that's just I think that's just something that they're trying to figure out, and that's why he brought in Safran and Gunn. I think Gunn is probably gonna do his best to try to create this cohesive Bible, and he's smart. He knows his stuff. I mean, yes, is everything that he likes and puts out there, does it translate? No. I mean, there's people that seriously fucking loathe the guy so much. I mean, we see that on the timeline. Like anybody who says James Gunn's name, oh my God, their blood boils. That's why when Zach was on the Vodka stream last and we were talking about his Teen Titans appearance, I asked if he saw James Gunn's appearance on the Harley Quinn show. And Jesus Christ, that was like, there's fans in the fandom that just did not like that because how dare I bring up James Gunn's name in front of Zack Snyder, even though they know each other and they're acquaintances. I'm not saying they're fucking best friends or anything like that, and they like spend weekends together and go on walks together. They don't do that. But it's like, how dare you? But where was I going with this? I don't even know. No, I just think they got to figure out this problem. It's definitely a problem, and hopefully they can. I've even said before, from things that I've heard that like, hey, maybe Ben will, play game because let's face it. I mean, what Ben, he's been doing, he had some movies that went to streaming services. Has that really made an impact on stuff? I don't know. I mean, I thought what was that called? The something bar, whatever that movie was on Amazon. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't watch the Arma de Armas movie that he was in, the water movie, something water. I didn't watch that movie. I didn't feel like watching that. I was like, yeah. So I was like, I don't think I need to watch that. But maybe just watch certain scenes, right? No. So maybe he's just like, you know what? Maybe I should put the cape and cowl back on fully and see what happens. Tinder bar, thank you. I knew somebody would come to my aid right there, and I appreciate that. So, but yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens, and then maybe we'll finally get a deadline article that says Ben Affleck signs multi-picture deal with DC Studios and blah, 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 with Warner Brothers Discovery to play Batman for the next decade or whatever. I don't know. Deep Water, that's what it's called. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. It's all just kind of up in the air right now, but yeah, they definitely got to figure out their Batman situation. I don't know. More Batman the merrier. That's what I always say. You know me. I'm all about the Batman. The news would break the internet. It definitely would. He went deep in her. Yeah. I think I watched like one scene from there, which was that. But I was like, I don't know if I want to watch any of the other ones when it came to that movie. I'm sure they had fun. For sure. Ben Affleck and De Armas did. So, anyways, guys, all right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Members, look forward to the link. I'll post it, of course, on your YouTube feed, so check it out. And yeah, if you guys want to join, become a member, and you can pick my brain a little bit more when it comes to that. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, hit that like, thumbs up, do all that. If you want to subscribe, of course, to the Patreon, so, do that. I try to post things on there, and then, of course, I'll probably be posting a self-pod tomorrow on there with things, so do that. And then, of course, the various other social media outlets and everything like that. So, anyways, all right. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, I don't think I'm going to be seeing a movie tomorrow. That might change. I do want to see the menu, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen because there's other things I'll need to get done tomorrow. So I probably won't be seeing a movie tomorrow, but I'll see you guys, of course, on Friday. Maybe, I don't know, for the Vodka stream or something like that. But yeah, I'm just kind of up in the air. It's like, do I want to go see? I mean, I want to see the menu, but I'm like, yeah, but I need to do some stuff around here and take care of some things. I got a busy weekend this weekend, so I'm just kind of like, it's just like one of those things. Kind of deciding. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to have an interesting guest, somebody who's been on before, but it's going to be interesting. So if that's going to be the case, hopefully that's still the case. Got to run it by them, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, love ya. Members, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Everybody else, I'll see you Friday. All right? Talk to you later.